Hi, this is Jeremy Adry, and today we're going to talk about perception versus reality. First, we'll talk about the Panthers, and next, we'll get into the Heat. Welcome to Panthers Digest. I am excited to talk to you about this. So, the Panthers have been on a 3-year Stanley Cup run. It's been magical, it's been entertaining, it's been everything that these fans have been waiting for. I've been a fan since day one of the franchise, and I've been waiting for this too. So, I'm with you. In the first year, we had a getting used to period, right? So we had Paul Maurice come in, and he interjected the culture that he wanted, physicality. He wanted to bring, the toughness to the organization, something we didn't have really. And boy, we went straight to the Stanley Cup Finals, right? We're going against the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and the Golden Knights were just bigger and better. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, watching those finals, I believed in us. I believed in the magic that we had, the run that we had, but we were just outmatched. And you wouldn't think a team that goes all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, who wins the Eastern Conference, is overmatched, but they were. What did Zito do? Instead of saying, hey, listen, we went to the finals, we're going to run it back. No, I wake up in the morning, I look at ESPN and it says, oh, by the way, the Panthers traded Jonathan Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar for Matthew Tkachuk. I was, at the same time, really shocked and really excited, right? Because we're getting Matthew Tkachuk. I mean, listen, he's a 100-point scorer the season before, but so is Huberdeau. But they're different players. Huberdeau is more a finesse player. He's more of the talent, like with the offense. And Matthew Tkachuk brings the toughness, and he gets under your skin. He pisses people off, and I love that about him. He changed the entire culture of the franchise by coming here, along with Maurice and Zito. It's been amazing, right? So he comes here, and Zito says, we got to get rid of some players. We got to bring in some big guys. He brings in Mikkola. He brings in Ekman Larson. He brings in these big guys, these big, strong, physical guys to contend with what Las Vegas did to us last year. And what do? We go all the way back to the Stanley Cup Finals, but this time we're scaring teams. This time we're hurting teams. We're winning the battle on the boards. We're winning the neutral zone. That chip and chase game that we have, it became a reality. It became really, really effective. And we won the Stanley Cup Finals in 7 games against the Edmonton Oilers, who, let me tell you something, they have some talent. Connor McDavid, they call him McJesus. Yeah, we shut him down, right? Leon Draisaitl, I mean, we shut these guys down. We shut them down, right? And we won the finals. We hoisted the cup. I mean, I keep on picturing Paul Maurice holding that cup and kissing it and saying, I got you. Saying to it, I got you now. You can't run away from me. That's mine. Oh man, I was crying. I had tears in my eyes. I really did, right? So then what happens the next year? We lose Ekman Larson, right? He goes to Toronto. We lose Brandon Montour. He goes to Seattle. And then Toronto says, oh, for good measure, I'm taking your goalie, your backup goalie, Stolarz. Anthony Stolarz was a big piece of the puzzle for us. So those were 3 huge losses. Most teams wouldn't come back and be forget about as good, or they wouldn't be better. So Zito reloads. Zito calls up Spencer Knight from the AHL, who played fantastic there. And we start our next run. We've gone to 2 straight already. He starts the next run. And we have a lot of injuries, right? And we're losing some games. It's getting a little bit like, what's happening to these invincible Panthers? And we started getting guys back. Barkov's back. I mean, listen, I can't even stress to you what happened at the trade deadline. If you don't know, if you're not a fan like me, a psycho fan, or even a casual fan, if you don't know what happened, the Panthers pulled off probably the best trade deadline trade of all time when they traded for Brad Marchand. I couldn't believe it. It was at the 0 hour. I mean, it was the very end of the trade deadline, and I look up and I see I see the talking heads saying things like, well, it's over, the trade deadline is pretty much, over in 10 minutes. Wait a minute, there's one more story. Brad Marchand going to Florida. I was like, yes, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe we got him. And then, we traded Spencer Knight for Seth Jones. And at first I was like, I love Seth Jones, but whoa, we gave up our goalie of the future. And Seth Jones came in here, and it was the perfect fit. And those two guys in the playoffs, that was the best trade deadline, both those acquisitions, in the history of maybe sports. We go on to win another Stanley Cup. That's back to back, right? Back to back. So perception versus reality. Perception is the Heat and the Dolphins and the Panthers. They all have this big advantage with the state taxes. Are you kidding me? So I've been watching Panthers since day one of the franchise. You're telling me for the first 30 years we had the same advantage, and we were almost the laughing stock of the league. We were the retirement community. You think Pavel Bure came here because he thought he was going to win a Stanley Cup? No, he came here because he got a big contract. We wanted to put butts in the seats, and he lived in paradise. So, and he brought his brother, by the way, too. That was a condition. So, perception versus reality. These talking heads now are just saying, well, it's got to be the taxes, the reason why the Panthers are so good. No. I just went over 3 years of moves that Bill Zito and Paul Maurice did to change the culture, to change the team, to change everything about this organization. It's not the taxes. This is a dynastic run. Let's not fool ourselves here. This is a dynastic run the Panthers are on, and they're not going to stop anytime soon because Bill Zito signed everybody. Everybody. He signed Ekblad, he signed Marchand, he signed everybody, okay? Those were all the ones. Sam Bennett, he won the Conn Smythe. I thought Sam Bennett was for sure gone. And all three of those players had a chance to get bigger money somewhere else, and they took hometown discount and stayed here with us. And that's all Bill Zito and Paul Maurice. So the perception is it's taxes. No, it's not. It's a well-run, perfectly run organization, maybe the best-run organization in sports, period, since the Patriots. Let's be real, okay? So if you're excited like me, grab your rat, take it in your hands, and I don't care where you are, throw it. I threw it. Well, I just knocked stuff down. It's okay. That's all right. I'm excited about the Panthers. All right. Now, let's go from the Panthers to the Miami Heat organization. Perception versus reality. The Miami Heat just pulled off a humongous trade. In my opinion, I'm a humble guy. In my humble opinion, it was humongous, this trade. So the Miami Heat have sent Kyle Anderson and Kevin Love to Utah. Utah sends John Collins over to the Clippers, and the Clippers send Norman Powell to the Miami Heat, okay? I'm going to go over why this is a fantastic trade, not just because of what we gave up, but because of the player Norman Powell really is. He's an amazing player. Last season, I got frustrated with the Heat. I love my Heat. I loved them since day one also, but I got to be honest with you. They went into the fourth quarter with double-digit leads so many times and would lose those games. We didn't have the depth. We didn't have the talent. We just didn't. Listen, you can only ride, Tyler Hero so much. When Jimmy Butler left, Tyler Hero on the regular scored 30 points a game. You just can't ride him like that, and then you blame him if he doesn't do that. the kid is special, okay? But he's not the only guy. And Bam Adebayo had, he's off and on. I love Bam. His defense is spectacular. Some games he disappeared. I gotta be honest with you. I'm excited about him, but Norman Powell is headed to the Miami Heat. And this is going to be amazing. I want to go over some stats for Norman Powell. Okay? Give me a second here. Okay? So Norman Powell last year was the only player in the league to average 21.8 points per game, while shooting 48% or better from the field and shooting 40% or better from three-point land. Are you kidding me? The only player in the league, and he was not an all-star. That blows my mind that he wasn't an all-star. But he wasn't. Okay, but in my mind he was. And we get him for a bag of Funyuns and a high five? No offense to those two guys. But this is a heist. So listen, perception versus reality. So perception is the Godfather, the guy upstairs, Pat Riley. He's washed. The perception is the game has passed him by. Perception is he can't make the trade. So everybody wanted Kevin Durant. I personally didn't want Kevin Durant for what they wanted us to give up. They wanted all the young players. They wanted Khalil Ware. And, Kevin Durant's 37 now. He's still great. He's still amazing. But he's 37 years old, guys. And he's not going to play forever. What if he plays 2 more years, right, at the level he's playing at? Okay, then you lose your entire young bench. All your young players. You lose all of that. And then Kevin Durant leaves and you're stuck with a shell of a roster. Can't do that, right? So I wasn't a fan of that. The better trade was for Houston, right? So he passed that one up, which I think was smart. And then he calls Danny Ainge, of all people, who they're not friends, Pat Riley and Danny Ainge dislike each other. And he sends over Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson. That's it. And we got back a perennial all-star? Are you kidding me? And then you might be saying to yourself, well, we had Duncan Robinson and we traded Duncan Robinson for Checchio, right? And to Detroit. And so what's the difference between Duncan Robinson and Norman Powell? I'm going to tell you the difference. The past 4 years, since 2021, Duncan Robinson shot 37% from three-point land. That's what we're talking about here, right? Duncan Robinson, he improved, but he's not the defensive player Norman Powell is. Norman Powell is an all-around better player, but Duncan Robinson shot 37% for the last 4 years. What did Norman Powell shoot? 42%. I mean, come on, it's not even all these people saying Pat Riley's washed, Pat Riley's done, Pat Riley he's not on the hot seat. Get out of here. This was a fleece, this was a heist. Pat Riley pulls the wool over Danny Ainge's eyes, and I'm excited about it. The starting lineup is going to be probably, right? So we're going to go with the 5 is Khalil Ware. The 4 is Bam Adebayo. The 3 is most likely Andrew Wiggins, I'm sorry. And the 1 is Hero. And then the 2 is Norman Powell. That's exciting. That's everything I've been looking for. Get a trade. Don't give up anything. He's an expiring contract. The Heat will be $65 million under the cap next year. This is perfect. If you like what you hear, hit the like button. I'm excited. You're excited. Let's do this. This is Jeremy Adry, Panthers Digest, Heat Digest. Come on back and see me again. Love it.